Hey, it's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. Hope your week's going well. It's Thursday. We've got 2 more days this week, and it's been kind of a crazy week for me. This is a week I do one each year where I have a chance to speak to a lot of different lawyers over a period of now 3 days. And I try and offer them things that not only help them in the practice of law, but help them in life. You know, I want to try and inspire and motivate them. I want to try and give them passion for what they do. And I want to try and show them how they can do it for good reasons and what all can be involved. And it's really interesting for me, and in my reflection on it all, I've been thinking about, there's an Old Testament book called Ecclesiastes, Koheleth, it's also called. It is a book about, well, it's famous for a lot of things. First of all, it's famous for the bird song, turn, turn, turn to everything. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven, time to be born, a time to die. There's a famous song. The Birds, I think, had the highest recording of the song in terms of hits. But that's not the only thing that the book is famous for. There's a word, in Hebrew it's the word havel. And havel means kind of a vapor or a warm breath. It's difficult to translate in the book of Ecclesiastes, but it's used 38 times. And some people translate it as vanity. Some people translate it as meaninglessness. But havel is at the very beginning of the book. In chapter 1, verse 2, it says, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. And the idea behind havel is this idea that everything to the author of Ecclesiastes almost seems to be useless and futile. You know, you work from the morning until the evening. To what end? You have family, you have offspring. I mean, all life under the sun just seems to make no sense, because at some point it's done and it's over. And really, what difference does it make? I knew a lawyer one time, I worked with him a lot, and he used to say to me, you know, my measure of whether or not something's important is whether or not it's going to make a difference in the life of the multi-billion people who are in China. And if it's not going to make a difference to them, he says to me, it's just kind of like, eh. So this is a man who not only never sweated over the details, needless to say, but never was all that motivated over them either, because they just didn't seem to be that big of a deal. Well, Ecclesiastes would have spoken to this man in some regard. Havel, havel, everything's havel. Everything's just a vapor. It's just meaningless. It's just, what's the point? It's a treadmill. And yet, at the end of the book, the writer does say, so what's the purpose of man? It's to fear God and keep his commandments. That's the whole duty. I don't think life is meaningless if you're walking in an intimate relationship with God. I think if you're walking in an intimate relationship with God, while the world may see life as futile, instead, I see life as a rich picture of opportunity to do things of everlasting value. I like the way Paul said it. You can live in vanity of vanities. You can live in hovel. You can live with a meaningless life by just looking at the things of this world. And he told the Corinthians it's like wood and hay and just stubble. It's all going to burn up one day. Or you can live your life with an understanding of God's call on your life and a relationship with him where you're enabled to do things and live in ways that create gold and silver and precious stones and things that last forever, that aren't just burned up. Things that move us from the treadmill of life that's meaningless, the hovel of this world, into something with purpose, dignity, and beauty that's everlasting. And that's what happens when we walk with God in that special fellowship that he has for us. I hope to talk more about this tomorrow, but I hope this is something you're thinking about today. Life's not meaningless with God. Life has purpose, and that is your video thought for the day.